Who was the Spanish viceroy, and what was their authority? Imagine ruling over vast lands in the New World with the power of a king in your hands. That's what a Spanish viceroy did during the colonial era. When Spain took control of territories in the Americas, they needed someone to govern on their behalf. That's where the viceroy came in. The word itself comes from Latin, meaning in place of the king. So, the viceroy was basically the king's representative in the colonies. These officials were appointed directly by the Spanish crown to oversee large areas that stretched across continents. Their job was to make sure Spanish laws, customs, and policies were followed. When Hernán Cortés defeated the Aztecs and took over Tenochtitlan in 1521, Spain realized they needed a better way to manage their new empire. So, in 1535, they created the first viceroyalty called New Spain. The capital was built in Mexico City, right on the ruins of the Aztec capital, symbolizing Spain's new rule. The viceroy had extraordinary powers. They could collect taxes from the people, raise armies, and even make judicial decisions. They could grant land to settlers and officials, and oversee the conversion of indigenous people to Christianity. They also managed the economy, especially mining and agriculture. Spain set up for main viceroyalties to govern their American territories. The biggest was New Spain, covering Mexico, Central America, parts of what is now the United States, and even the Philippines. The second was the Viceroyalty of Peru, created in 1542, with Lima as its capital. It controlled most of South America and earned huge wealth from silver mines like Potosí. Later, Spain added the Viceroyalty of New Granada and La Plata to better manage their growing empire. La Plata was created in 1776, with Buenos Aires as its capital, to avoid concentrating too much power in one place. Now, you might think the viceroy had unlimited power, but in reality, it was more complicated. Because of the long distance between Spain and the colonies, communication took months. This made it hard for Spain to give quick orders or support. So, viceroys often relied on local officials like governors and judicial bodies called audiencias to help run things. The viceroy's authority was mostly limited to their specific region, like Mexico or Lima. They had to send reports and updates to Spain, but they also had to work with other officials to keep everything running smoothly. The viceroy was seen as the king's right hand, but also as a key figure in shaping colonial society. They helped develop cities, promote trade, and enforce laws. The establishment of viceroys marked the start of a distinct Latin American identity, blending Spanish traditions with local cultures. Their role was vital in creating the political and economic foundation of colonial Latin America, making them some of the most powerful figures in the early days of conquest and settlement.